Hi everyone, here's another one. Test prep example question type 3. This one's by far the hardest one, and I would guarantee this kind of question leans more towards T-style questions, and you'll see why. I'm going to give you clues for two different triangles to solve a larger expression. Take a look. Given that sine of angle A is 5 over root 29, and cosine of angle B is negative 5 over 13, where angle A is between pi over 2 and pi, and angle B is between pi and 3 pi over 2. Find the exact values of these compound angle formulas. And as you can see, I'm going to do A with you slowly and then expect you to do B and C quickly on your own. Here it is. Given that sine A equals 5 over root 29 and cosine B is that you see that A and B are completely different scenarios. There's another clue that you're given where angle A between these two rotations means we are dealing with quadrant 2. Right? And for angle B, we're actually dealing with quadrant 3. So you can actually draw this out. Um, let me take a step back. So the question is asking for sine of A plus B. Now, it may be difficult to calculate the angle of A and B themselves because you shouldn't really recognize these numbers as numbers that are part of a special triangle, right? In fact, the goal is not to get the angle. The goal is to use the triangles to figure it out indirectly. What do I mean by that? Well, using your compound angle formulas, you know that sine A plus B can be rewritten as sine of A with cosine of B plus cosine of A, cosine of A, sine of B. So even if I don't know the angle, do I know sine A? I do. Do I know cosine B? I do. If I can figure out the cosine of angle B and the sine of cosine of angle A and the sine of angle B, you already have, like you can solve this question, no problem. So it might be misleading. You might think, oh, how the heck do I get angle A? And some of you will use your calculator to do the inverse and get angle A as some kind of obscure degree or some kind of obscure radian. That's not the goal of the question. If you do that, you are guaranteed not going to be able to give me exact values. And literally, if this was out of 3 marks, the best I could do is give you like 0.5 marks out of it. Why? Because you're not using these to actually find, using these as clues to find the actual answer. You're depending on the calculator, and that's not the goal. All right. So let's take a look. Let's explore how we can solve this without relying on the calculator. So angle A, being in quadrant 2, you know that this is angle A. And angle A creates a triangle with the x-axis where the height is going to be a 5 and the radius is going to be root 29. How the heck did I know that? Well, if you remember, the ratio of sine of an angle is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. And in a unit circle, opposite is the y value, it's the height, and hypotenuse is the r. So if I say sine of angle A is equal to 5 over root 29, it's literally telling you that in this triangle, whatever angle this is, the triangle that it creates with the x-axis is going to have a height of 5 and a radius of root 29. Notice that even in quadrant 2, these two numbers are still positive because, well, the picture is self-explanatory. And with these two numbers, you can actually calculate what x is. By Pythagorean theorem, the square of the radius is equal to, or the hypotenuse is equal to, the square of one side plus the square of the other side. So let's quickly do some algebra. 29 is equal to 25 plus x squared, and I think you can tell x squared is equal to 4. X could be a positive or a negative 4, but We're in quadrant 2. It's on the left side of my y-axis, so I know that it has to be a -2. Why is that important? Well, now we can find it. Cosine of angle A is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse, which is -2 over root 29. Ta-da, we just found cosine A. You get this? You get the point now? It's not about the calculator. You can solve this without. Angle B is in quadrant 3. So I'm going to roughly draw an angle here, saying that's B. But the triangle that I create gives me -5 over 13. Well, it's a cosine, remember. If it's a cosine, then the related angle, whatever that might be, the triangle that I create, it's the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is 13, adjacent is -5. It makes sense that this fraction is -5 over 13. It's a negative value. Well, if cosine of b is equal to -5 over 13, once again, by Pythagorean theorem, 13 squared is equal to -5 squared plus, I'm going to call y squared. 169 is equal to 25 plus y squared. That means y squared is 144. Y could be plus or minus 12, but it's in quadrant 3. It's underneath the x-axis. Therefore, y must be a -12. Why is that important? Well, if cosine b is -5 over 13, that means sine of b has no choice but to be -12 over 13. Ta-da! We found it. So sine a plus b, without relying on the actual angles, is equal to sine a cos b plus cos A sine B. And let's do this very quickly. -25, 13 root 29 plus 24 over 13 root 29. This is, that's sort of funny. The numerator just becomes -1, and if I were to rationalize this, it would be negative root 29 over, I do not know what 13 times 29 is. Which that very, very quickly. 377. There it is. And that's it. So something like this, yes, it is long, but it would be essentially, I'm going to say 1 mark for being able to use these as your clues. Or maybe half a mark of knowing that you have to use it, another half mark for getting the other angles, other permanent trigonometric angles, sorry, trigonometric ratios, excuse me. Another mark for rewriting this using compound angle formulas and plugging in correctly, and then maybe 1 mark for getting the final answer. I'd like you to take this time to try this over time. I'm going to erase most of this for you, and I'd like you to try. Actually, I'm not going to erase it, but I want you to not look, okay? Pretend this is fresh, that you are given these clues without any other prompts, any other aids. Okay, I will leave this for you just to double check your calculations. But right now, I would like you to try cosine A minus B and then tan B minus A. Okay, pause the video. Each of them being 3 marks each. I would expect you to be able to do each of these in 5 minutes flat. Okay, start with this. Pretend I didn't give you these triangles. See if you can reproduce them within 5 minutes. Time yourself. Pause the video now and give it a shot. Did you get it? Well, if you haven't, pause the video, but I am going to go ahead and calculate what the answers might be. For part B, cosine of A minus B using compound angle formulas would be cos A, cos B, plus sine A, sine B. Cos A is negative 2 over root 29. Cos B is negative 5 over 13 plus sine A is 5 over root 29 times sine B is negative 12 over 13. This becomes 10 minus 60 over 13 root 29 or negative 50, 13 root 29. Let's rationalize. This becomes negative 50, 29 over 377. That should be the final answer for part B. Part C, it's a little bit more convoluted because the tangent compound angle formula is a little annoying, but just get used to it. This is tan B uh, minus tan A. I'm almost positive. I have to double check once again. Pardon me. Oops, I removed my, I'm gonna bank on my memory here. As divided by 1 plus tan B tan A. And I'm about to solve this, but I actually don't have tan B and tan A, do I? So I'm going to have to go back to this triangle. Tangent is equal to y over x, which is going to be my y is a 5, my x is negative 2. Tangent of B, what's my y? Negative 12. What's my x? Negative 5. So it's going to be positive 12 over 5. All right, let's do it. Tan B, 12 over 5, minus tan A, plus 5 over 2, and 1 plus tan B times negative 5 over 2. Okay, very quickly, the numerator becomes a denominator of 10. That's 24 plus 25 over 1. That's a 1, 1, 6. So a negative 6. I really hope I'm not getting this wrong. So that is 49 over 10, all divided by negative 5. If I divide that correctly, that would be 49 over negative 50. There's your exact value. I'm going to give me a second while I confirm that I didn't make any mistakes. I think I got it. The reason why I was a little tripped up was because this answer was different from my answer key that I posted online. And I think there's an error with the answer key. I think I plugged in a positive 5 over 2 instead of a negative 5 over 2. The negative 5 over 2, I believe, is correct. So this is correct and my answer key is not. I will try to fix it as much as I can or as quickly as I can. I hope this video helped. Good luck with your studies.